Dennis. And yes, our next panelist is Dennis Boyd, our Permitting Task Force Chair and Chair-elect. Take it away, Dennis.
Thank you. Hello, Ikaika. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Dennis.
Now we're gonna pivot to the Chamber's focus areas. And I know you're aware of this because you just brought it up, but the permitting process has been a huge and persistent issue in Hawaii County for quite some time. And the Chamber's designated permitting reform as one of its 3 focus areas and has formed a task force to provide input to the county and to press for improvements. What can you do to ensure the community has a meaningful seat at the table in the discussion of permitting improvements?
So let's try to hit it by a few bullet points. Streamline building codes to allow modular housing and tiny homes and other creative solutions. So, and then grandfather in existing buildings. A win-win situation for the county and residents could be created if exiting structures are grandfathered in. So basically what I just want to try to say is our public works gotta work with the people, gotta work with the contractors, gotta work with the home builders. I think, let me just tell you a story about my experience with building. I built this structure. I submitted my plan, my architecture plan. Everything was built to code. Everything was all to spec. 2 weeks later, I got it back. And it says, change X, Y, and Z. So, okay, we changed it, sent it back, ready to build. It's sent back to me again. Change X, Y, and Z in another area. We're looking, you just had the first draft. Why didn't you fix the whole draft from the beginning? So I think what it has to be, what I would see in the permitting process is working efficiently for the people. One-time deal. You send in your engineer, your architectural plan in, and one time, look at the whole process and figure out all the corrections with one draft. And I think that's what we see every day, and it's over, I think the average right now is about 6 to 8 months to get a plan back, and by that time we're paying a loan for 6 to 8 months, and we didn't even build a project yet. So I think that's what we need to do. We need to work with the builders and the homeowners and the contractors to make sure that everything is done efficiently.
Okay, thank you. You sort of preempted my second question. You answered my second question, so I'm not going to ask that, but I'm going to come back to the first question. You told us what you might address in streamlining the process, but what would you do to ensure that the community gets a seat at the table, not just the contractors building the homes on a project-by-project basis, but what can you do to ensure that the community as a whole has a meaningful seat at the table in discussion of permitting improvements? How can we make an impact as a community?
So it's all transparency, but so my cabinet member, I was talking about the cabinet member. So the director position is inside government, has been in county government before, has been part of the Department of Public Works for many of years. But that deputy director would be the outside of the box person that is part of the community that had the problems before done to him because he was a contractor and seen what could be done positively for the people in the community. So he's part of the community. He's outside of the box, but he can be in the box now, working with the director to come up with the best plans to help our community move forward. He's been part of that process. So I think I'm not too sure if that's my way of thinking, bringing in people that could be in charge of these departments outside of the box to help make everything run smoothly and efficiently.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you would do to address the long delays in getting a county building permit, or did you pretty much cover that before?
Well, I think one of the things that we can do, one of the things that I asked was one of the previous administration. How did you guys, because administration now takes 6 to 8 to 2 years to 3 years to get a permit. How did you guys get their permits out so quickly? I said, we met every week, sat at a round table, and just went passed everything around in that round table and signed it off as quick as possible, because he said we knew during that recession, we knew by keeping people, having people to work and keeping people at work is the base of keeping people at work is getting this permits out. So we sat down on a Saturday every week, Department of Public Works, Mayor's office, planning, and just signed everything off. And if you had a problem, you would come back to the Department of Works and try to figure out where the problem's at and sign it right back off. So I think that's some of the things that we want to make sure that we do.
Okay, thank you. That's all of my questions. I'm going to hand it off to Wendy now to talk about homelessness.